Alrighty, guys, what is going on? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And today we are going to be talking about CM Punk. I have not been talking about CM Punk for a while. A lot of people disappointed about that. But obviously this channel isn't just about CM Punk. There's multiple things I do here on YouTube. So there's other things I have to cover. But rest assured, when major stuff comes out, I will talk about it. I didn't want to fart out multiple CM Punk videos. I mean, I did that after the All Out Media Scrum last year in 2022, and we did a few after the whole bullshit that happened with Jack Perry, who should have been fired from the incident, not CM Punk. But I digress. So, a lot of rumors have been going around that CM Punk is going to possibly go to WWE. And I don't know if that's true or not. Look, I'm going to say this right now. Everybody who's subscribed to me right now, everybody who watches my videos regularly, anybody who knows me on Discord, personally, people that are on my Discord server, or even the people that are friends of mine on Discord, or even like I said, or if followed me on any of my other social media platforms besides YouTube, you know I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I am a huge CM Punk fan. I am. That's just how it is. I don't give a damn what people are going to say. Oh, you're just a mark. You're biased mark for CM Punk. Man, you got to get off of your high horse. It's 2023. Y'all have favorites. Y'all have favorites at this point in wrestling. Okay, y'all do. If you don't, then you're full of shit at this point. I believe you're full of shit. Because every wrestling fan has their favorites. Everybody does at this point. So yeah, I am a CM Punk fan. A lot of people said I was biased on the way I covered the All Out Media Scrum because it was on a one-sided CM Punk perspective. Same thing with Jack Perry, even though I broke down every analyzing theory on how it could have gone down. Especially with the Jack Perry scenario of what the original reports were. And also to point out, before we get into the possibilities here of a CM Punk return, I have literally said this before, but I had no issues with the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega until they did the shit they did to CM Punk. I didn't think they were bad wrestlers. I thought the Young Bucks were a little overrated on their product of being a great tag team. I think they are a good tag team. I think they are good wrestlers. I think they can work. They're very well rounded in the ring. But my issues with, again, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega is what they did to CM Punk last year. I will say, like I said, I think the Young Bucks as a tag team are a great tag team, but I don't think they are the greatest tag team of all time. I don't think they are in the top 5 greatest tag teams of all time. I think that is nuts if you think that, especially when you consider the all-time great tag teams from the past, like the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, New Age Outlaws, Legion of Doom, Demolition, and I'm sure there's more that I haven't mentioned because there are even ones back from the 80s that did very, very well. You can go back to, the old days before I was even alive because I was born in 91, okay? And so my point being is the Young Bucks being one of the greatest tag teams of all time, I think is not a very good assessment when you compare all the other tag teams. Oh, yeah, and then, of course, you got FTR as well, who is wrestling them right now. Okay? My whole thing with the Young Bucks as a tag team is that, yes, they are a great tag team that can wrestle, but they are in a product of tag teams when tag teams, especially in the mainstream, for the past decade, have not been good. Okay? And what I mean by that, in the past decade, I'm talking about WWE, because before AEW existed, the mainstream wrestling perspective was WWE. And the way WWE presented their tag teams sucked. They were just teams that they threw together. They didn't give a shit about tag team divisions. AEW cares about tag team divisions, or at least for the most part they do. They actually care about tag teams, and that's a good thing. They care about tag team wrestling. They want, whoever the tag team champions are, they're making them tag team champions because they believe they can be a team. You know what I'm saying? And most of the tag team champions have been actual teams, not just people they threw together. Though I know a lot of people are going to get on me about the whole recent title change with Ricky Starks and Big Bill. But Big Bill has been in tag teams before with Big Cass in the past, so it's not really that much of a surprise. You get the point. The thing with the Young Bucks is that they're in a product of tag team era wrestling that has not been good in the mainstream. AEW is reviving that. This is the one fewest things that I think AEW does really well, is trying to revive that perspective of tag team wrestling with tag teams that they have. Especially the Young Bucks are a big deal for that, including FTR as well. But to say that they're like in the top 5, I think is an injustice to all the great tag teams from the past that have come before them, and I think have done a better job than them. And we forgot to mention the Dudley Boys too. Don't forget about the Dudley Boys. Yeah, like I said, Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, Hardys, New Age Outlaws, Legion of Doom, Demolition, and there are other ones too, but Midnight Express, all these great tag teams. So that's my thing with the Young Bucks as a great tag. I think they are a bit listed as overrated, but not in that they can't wrestle, because they can absolutely wrestle and they are very good at what they do. It is just that they really, really are not among the greatest tag teams of all time. But again, getting back to the really topic on this whole video is that it is about my issue with them and Kenny Omega and Jack Perry, I guess now, and the stupid cowboy shit guy. What the frig is his name? Hangman Adam Page, that dude. Oh my god, I fucking hate that guy. But I don't really like him. I don't like him. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Hangman Adam Page because of the stuff he did. But again, it goes back to, I don't like them because of what they did to CM Punk. I mean, I never had anything against these people. I mean, I did say that Hangman didn't draw as world champion, which he didn't. It was the truth. He had the title for 6 months, and nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared that Hangman was the world champion. And the only time they cared about when he was world champion was literally when he feuded with CM Punk and lost the title. That's literally when they cared about it. They never cared. He had the title for 6 months. He had a program with Daniel Bryan. He had a program with Adam Cole. Nobody gave a fuck about him. And I hear like some YouTubers, some biased AEW YouTubers trying to say that, Hangman Adam Page should have beaten CM Punk. He was drawing. Really, it was like, dude, look at the fucking numbers, you moron. Look at the numbers. He wasn't drawing. He wasn't. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. He was not drawing money for them. He was not drawing ratings as champion. He was not a good world champion. I don't give a damn if you think he's a good wrestler. He was not drawing. That is why CM Punk won the world title. For people that are like, oh, CM Punk should have lost it. No, he shouldn't have. Hangman was not a good world champion. That is a fact of the matter. He had the title for 6 months. His numbers were worse than Jinder Mahal. And he was a far worse world champion than Hangman. That's how bad his numbers were. Okay? He was not a good world champion. Get this out of your delusional head that he was a good world champion. He was not. He will never, I guarantee you, he will never win that world title again. If he wins that world title, Tony Khan is an idiot. Because he is not drawing money. He cannot draw the main event. Okay? You might as well just keep the title on MJF if you're going to continue having Hangman as world champion. You might as well just keep the title on MJF. At least MJF can draw. Okay? He can't draw as good as CM Punk, but he can draw still. Because he can create interest. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, that's my whole rant on the... We're still on the topic of the return, right? Ugh. God. We're supposed to talk about the return of CM Punk. And we're talking about the fucking elite people right now. I'm still just... Still on this shit. Anyways, so... CM Punk returning to the Survivor Series. That's the biggest rumor. And like I said earlier in this video, I'm all for it. If he comes back, Survivor Series, I mean, there's really only 2 possibilities for CM Punk to return for WWE that makes sense. It's either A, the obvious choice, which is Survivor Series, in Chicago, which to me would be my pick, by the way. Or B, the Royal Rumble. Now, a lot of people are saying the Royal Rumble just because of the whole surprise epicness of it, but I actually have a reason why the Royal Rumble makes sense. Not just saying, oh, the Royal Rumble because it's the Royal Rumble. You know, surprise entrance and whatnot. I actually have a legitimate storyline reason why the Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view actually makes sense for CM Punk to return to. And you want to know what it is? It's obvious. That was his last match in WWE. His last match in WWE in 2014 was the Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So that's the reason why I think if you don't bring him back for Survivor Series, you bring him back for the Royal Rumble. Not because of the surprise entrance like everyone's saying. It's because his last match in WWE was the Royal Rumble. It was the Royal Rumble match. That was literally his last match in the company. So it makes the most goddamn sense. But again, I still think you have him return to Survivor Series. You have him be a surprise contestant in the War Games. I mean, they might have like a mystery partner type storyline. Cody Rhodes will have like a mystery partner type thing, and it won't be the Shockmaster. Don't worry about that. But it will be CM Punk. For the War Games match at Survivor Series, assuming if they're doing that, or if they're not doing that, they're doing a traditional team battle elimination, which I do kind of hope they bring back the traditional team battle Survivor Series match, because that, to me, should be on Survivor Series. But that's the Survivor Series. The Survivor Series is the traditional elimination team battle. It's not War Games. It's not War Games. To me, like, I wasn't feeling that last year. I know a lot of people like the War Games thing. I wasn't feeling it because it wasn't Survivor Series. It was Survivor Series with War Games. Because War Games is supposed to be its own pay-per-view, not just a match. Or that's at least how it was in WCW. It was War Games pay-per-view. Survivor Series is Survivor Series. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the traditional elimination team battle. Now, I did do some research on that afterwards because I was curious about that. But, Jim Crockett's Promotions actually did War Games before Survivor Series did Survivor Series. So, Survivor Series kind of was created because of War Games. I didn't even know that, actually. All my times of doing this stuff, I didn't realize that they created it because of Survivor Series. Or Survivor Series created, Vince McMahon created Survivor Series because of War Games being created by when it was originally Jim Crockett Promotions before it switched over to WCW. I didn't know that, actually. In all my years of watching this stuff, never connected that. Never connected that, actually. But at the same time, and even though they are kind of intertwined, I still kind of just prefer Survivor Series. But again, that could be more because of nostalgia. Because again, that's just what I'm used to, for WWE is Survivor Series. But again, to me, because again, they're War Games and Survivor Series to me are kind of two different things, and that you're trying to somehow merge together as one. But like I said, I do hope they do a traditional team battle for Survivor, even if you only have to do one. It doesn't have to be the focus, doesn't have to be the main event, because a lot of times with Survivor Series, the main events are usually the title matches anyways. A lot of times. So you don't necessarily have to be the main event, but I do kind of hope they do have that as one of the matches. On top of if they have to do the 2 War Games or whatever, again. But if you're going to do the War Games thing or the traditional team battle, you do, you have CM Punk be the mystery partner. That to me, because you have him wrestle, because I think they would have him wrestle, but they just have him have a surprise, like they did with Cody. And Corey Graves, even though he's denying it on Twitter, there's no way they're indirectly feeding lines from Punk's past word for word, specifically just like that, the fact that Punk isn't actually coming back. That to me is just way too coincidental. I'm still skeptical, though, that he's going to come back. I'm one of the biggest skeptics of this whole fucking thing. More than anybody is. But those are the scenarios. Those are the scenarios for him coming back. I'm still skeptical on him coming back because, as I said in my short a couple of months ago, I just don't see how WWE and CM Punk would coexist. Then that's just me being real right now. Because it was 7 years. I mean, yes, there was the Fox whole thing, where Fox wanted him to come back. They were going to pay for his contract, but Vince McMahon said no. And so that was kind of my thing. Well, they didn't really want him. But then I hear this whole thing about, people were telling me after I did that, there's a possibility that, because WWE isn't actually owned by Vince anymore, even though Vince is still the CEO, of the company and still kind of runs things with WWE, even if it's via webcam or whatever, Zoom. It's still his company. He is still going to book. He is still going to book the way he's going to book because they're still giving him the keys. You know what I'm saying? Endeavor's still giving Vince McMahon the keys to do what he wants for the time being, at least for now. But that being said, if the Endeavor people do want CM Punk to come back, I mean, Vince can't just be like, no, don't do that, like he did to Fox, a couple years ago. So, I mean, there's that. Like I said, guys, if CM Punk comes back to WWE, I'm going to love it. I'm going to be glad to be fucking wrong. I'm going to be fucking over fucking joy. I do love this teasing stuff, because it is a sign, but I don't want to get my fucking hopes up that Punk is going to be back and then it not be there. You know what I'm saying? I hope he's back. I don't care which wrestling company he goes to. For people that are wondering, people that seen my rant video on Edge, I don't give a fuck where he goes. I don't care if he goes to AEW. I don't care where he goes to WWE. And real Edge fans, you should be like that mindset too. That was my rant on my video. I don't care what organization he goes to. I just want to see CM Punk on television. I want to see him wrestle. I want to see him put on good matches, possibly win a championship. doubt that will happen in WWE, to be completely honest with you. But I still would like to just see him in the ring again. I love him doing what he loves and doing what he loves for the fans. And that's what I want to see. That is what I want to see, guys, at the ultimate end of the day, is I want to see CM Punk in the ring again. That's what I want to see. That's really all that matters to me. That, I mean, you know, if he can mend fences with WWE, you know, go ahead. I wanted him to come back to WWE for a long time. Okay? You know, before AEW existed, I wanted him to come back, but he never did. You know, then AEW happened, and then he decided to join AEW. And I was all for that. I was all for him joining AEW. I loved it when he came back. I was all for it. I put on the whole WWE CM Punk shirt, and then I took it off, or I pulled it off, and I had the AEW shirt under it with that CM Punk, the CM Punk AEW white T-shirt. I did that whole thing like a couple of years ago. Like, I was all for this stuff, man. I was all for it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be all for it again, because here's the thing. I'm a real fan. I'm not some of these bullshitters that are just like, we want him to go to WWE. We want him to go to AEW. We want to go here. No, dude, you should want him to go wrestle as long as he's on television. Who the fuck cares that he goes? You know, when I was a young kid and we watched WWE, we watched WCW, we didn't give a fuck what fucking channel they were on. You know, we just rooted for our favorites. You didn't care that Stone Cold was on the WWE television. You didn't care that fucking Goldberg was on the WCW television. You just watched it. You fucking were fucking happy for it. You were fucking invested. There was none of this. There was none of this from a fan's perspective. And I guarantee you the wrestlers don't care about that either. The wrestlers want to get paid, okay, to wrestle. Okay? They're happy to have a job and doing what they do best and what they love. You know, they don't care about that. Okay? You know, I think MJF said it a couple weeks. No one cares about that. MJF has hung out with some of the WWE wrestlers. Some of the AEW wrestlers hung out with WWE wrestlers. They posted pictures of each other on Twitter. Like, none of this stuff, you know, matters to them. The only people that care about the stuff that people on social media care about, the only people that really care about that stuff is Tony and Vince, the owners of the wrestling companies. Those are the people that really only care about this, okay? Besides you weirdos on Twitter that care about it, that are obsessed with it, okay? You know, not naming specific people, but I'm just saying those people on Twitter, for whatever reason, are obsessed with this whole AEW versus WWE thing. Man, the only reason why I care that AEW exists, besides the good wrestling they put on, is the fact that they push WWE to actually be better. Ever since AEW has been created, WWE has tried to be better. I mean, they're not perfect, but I mean, at least they try to be better. At least they've tried to do stuff, you know, and get people like Cody and stuff like that. You know, even when Vince McMahon was still kind of fully in charge before Triple H took over, there was still this whole, you know, trying to like, look, hey, let's do this or that, rather than, no, we're just going to stick to our guns, you know, because that's what WWE would do in past years before AEW existed, was we're just sticking to our guns. We're going to do this, and we don't give a damn what the fans think. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, the whole thing with Roman Reigns for several years, you know. Now, you don't really see that atmosphere anymore with WWE. They don't try to do that. I mean, they're going to flounder on some things, but at least they are trying, you know, to make the product better, you know. And I do believe that the existence of AEW has done that. So I'm glad AEW exists. I'm glad that they're around. Do I want AEW to be better? Absolutely. I am still flabbergasted that they fired their top draw because of Jack Perry's idiocy because he couldn't keep his damn mouth shut. But if I was Tony, I would have never fired him. The whole fear for my life bullshit we all know is fake. If it was true, why don't we see the footage? Where's the footage? Because some of the reports said that there was footage of Tony, monitors were knocked over on him or whatever. Where's the footage? Where's the footage? It was in the UK. It was in Wembley Stadium. So guess what? They can get that footage. Because that's how we got the footage for, or not the footage. I'm sorry. That's how we got the attendance record. That's how they got the Wembley attendance record, like the 71,000 that they tried to say was 81,000 or whatever, and then tried to lie and say it was 85,000, which was another bullshit report. Great journalism, Dave Melcher, by the way. When Brandon fucking told you that it was a lie and wasn't true, and then you freaking tried to say that it was still true, even though it was factually not, and multiple of your reporter colleagues fucking told you that you were wrong, and you still didn't listen and put it on your stupid-ass newsletter, you stupid con artist. For the Wembley Stadium, the all-in thing. But the point being is, again, AEW being AEW, being just in existence, benefits WWE because it makes them do shit that they don't want to do. And that's what they haven't been able to do for years because of WCW being out of business. And so, yeah, I like that AEW exists. I wish they would be better and not be stupid because they got Edge. Okay? And Edge is not drawing the attendance. Like, the attendance is, like, the same as it was before he was there. Like, I mean, you guys could go look it up. The seats don't lie. Like, they literally... Edge is not drawing the same amount of seat ticket sales as CM Punk was, which is another reason why Tony shouldn't have fired CM Punk. I don't fire my top merchandise seller and my top draw. I don't give a damn what the whole incident was, okay? Supposedly... No, the whole thing was because Jack Perry couldn't keep his damn mouth shut, and so CM Punk, old school mentality wrestler, which fight scuffles happen in the locker room all the time. It happens in WWE. Hell, Jericho tried to fight Brock Lesnar just a few years ago when he was still with WWE. Like, it happens all the time, but apparently it's all overblown by AEW when it comes to fights. But CM Punk, old school guy, not going to put up with that shit. He freaking, I don't know who went first, supposedly. There was a shove, and then from there, Punk choked him. Now people are trying to claim he sucker punched him, which wasn't true. It was a freaking chokehold from people that I have heard from the situation. It was a chokehold. But again, nothing out of the ordinary. Jericho did it in the early 2000s to Goldberg, and they were publicly traded back then, by the way, for people that want to use that as an argument. Not that that matters because AEW is not publicly traded, so that really doesn't even matter. They're a private company. So that excuse can't even be used in this case. But yeah, my whole thing with this whole bullshit is that AEW fired CM Punk and they made, well, again, I want to know where the footage is because some of these journalists claim that there was footage of what happened backstage before the match. And since Wembley Stadium is owned by the government or whatever, I guess, that's why they were able to get the actual attendance record. Which again, 71,000 is a good number. I'm not trying to say that 71,000 isn't a good number, because it is. It's a damn good number. But it's not the number that Tony Khan told people on national television or on pay-per-view. That he said 81,000. And then he said that there was up to possibly 90,000 people in that arena. or in that stadium. And that was not true. That was a flabbergasted lie. That was a lie by Tony. And I'm not trying to say that Vince McMahon hasn't done it either, because he has. He has elaborated on bullshit as well. But Tony really wanted to force that on people, that it was the greatest achievement ever, when it wasn't, and factually not. It was a great accomplishment for AEW, but it wasn't the greatest accomplishment in professional wrestling history. It was not. Far from it. The greatest accomplishment in professional wrestling for attendance record will always be WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, Pontiac Silverdome, 90,000 people in attendance, which that actually was the real mark. Dave Meltzer was a fucking liar on his reporting on it, claiming that he talked to people in WWE. I'm going to let you guys on a secret. Dave Meltzer never talked to anybody in WWE. He doesn't talk to anybody. Okay, the only people he probably actually has talked to is people from AEW, like the EVPs. Dave Meltzer hasn't talked to anybody. He's full of shit. He's a con artist. He doesn't know anything that goes on. He guesses, and then he makes assumptions, and people bought into it back in the 70s and 80s because there was no social media back then. Okay? That is a fact of the matter. I mean, I really want to do a whole analysis video on Dave Meltzer and really, really expose him really badly, because he is one of the... If there was a record for con artists in journalism, Dave Meltzer should have the Guinness Book of World Records for it, because that's how bad he is as a journalist. Okay? The shit he's gotten away with and the lies he has posted over the years on his stupid ass newsletter is ridiculous. Like, I have like uncovered so many things that he did back in the 70s that weren't fucking true, and it's just crazy to think, because nobody called him out on it back then, 70s and 80s. No one called him out on it back then because journalism, nobody cared about wrestling. Nobody cared about wrestling journalism. People that do journalism, they care about real world things. They didn't care about wrestling. So that's how Meltzer was able to get away with all this, false news that he created, in wrestling, And now people are starting to realize, within like the last year, people are starting to finally realize that Dave Meltzer doesn't really know what he's talking about. And that's an attribute to social media now, trying to figure that out. But yeah, there's so many things that are so bad about him. It's not even funny. But point being with CM Punk, if he comes back, power to him. I'll be totally invested, like I was invested in AEW. I'm all in because I'm a real CM Punk fan. I'm a real Punk fan, not some of these bandwagon like fans that just jump on it just to jump on it. Like, I am thick and thin CM Punk fan, whether he's babyface, heel, tweener. I don't give a damn. I'm cheering for CM Punk no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing on this. This was way longer than I wanted it to be. So I hope you do enjoy this video. Comment, rate. If you like this video or my other video, please subscribe. Maybe another CM Punk video will be in the future. Who knows? I don't know. If something new happens or something new I can talk about, I'll gladly make another video about it. I can otherwise just keep talking all day on this. But anyways, I'm the SS Ultimate Goku Moderator. Peace! Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, the SS Ultimate Goku, follow me on Twitch, the SS Ultimate Goku, Instagram, the SS Ultimate Goku, and I do have a Discord link in the description where we do talk about anime English dubs, cartoons, we do talk about wrestling of AEW and WWE, NFL football, live-action TV series, live-action movies, all that good stuff, etc., and of fictional media. And now I'm out. Peace.